For our first project, we're going to sublimate a slate and add a Spotify code that, yes, it actually works. So we're going to print this image onto the heart slate, and I want the heart shape to be the exact image. So when I apply the image, I know it'll fit nicely. So I couldn't find a heart image that was similar. So I used a piece of copy paper and I traced the slate heart with a pencil. Then I went into Genius Scan, which is a free app. I took a picture of the paper, and then this automatically puts whatever you scanned into a PDF. So once I scanned it, I double clicked my phone to get an image of that heart. Then I cropped the image and then I emailed it to me. So we're heading on over to Cricut Design Space. We're going to upload the image that we just downloaded. We're going to hit upload. Here is the heart that we just traced. We're going to go ahead and hit continue, and you see the white behind it. We want to go ahead and just select that. So we want to remove the background. Normally I would recommend taking the erase and getting rid of all this kind of little specks and all that, but we're not going to slice the image. We're going to actually just use this image as a template. Hit apply and continue. We're going to select flat graphic, continue, and then upload. The next thing you want to do is measure the heart. So on the website it says it is 7.75 all around, but when I measured it, it's not. So we're going to go ahead and go by my measurements. So we're just going to select up here to unlock this. So I'm going to do like 7.25 by 7.25. The next thing you want to do is pick the image that you want, upload, and I'm going to go ahead and select this image, and we're going to add to canvas. The next thing we want to do is create the Spotify code. We're going to head on over to spotify.com. I'll leave the link in the descriptions below. It's completely free. You don't have to have a sign in. You don't have to pay anything. As you can see here, I'm not even logged in. So you're going to just put in the song that you want. So I'm going to use Count on Me by Bruno Mars. So I'm going to go ahead and just select the three dots, and I'm going to go down here to share, copy link to song. So it says link copied. Then we're going to go over here to spotifycodes.com. Again, I'll leave the link below. This is completely free. Again, you don't have to log in or anything like that. We're going to select this, and I'm going to right click and put paste. So now I have the link to the song I want to use. We're going to select get Spotify code, scroll down, and wants you to read the terms, and then we're going to hit continue. Here is the song. I'm going to change this barcode. We're going to go up here and change the background color to white, and I'm going to go a little bit further to the barcode. I'm going to change it to black. So now I have it set up just like this, and we're going to download it. I'm going to go ahead and just switch it to PNG. You can do JPEG. It actually has SVG too, but we're going to go ahead and just hit download, and then we're going to upload it in Cricut. So now we're back over in Cricut. We're going to hit upload image. All we did was just click on the image that we just downloaded. We're going to hit continue, apply and continue, and this one we're going to do as a graphic, and then upload. Now we have this. Let's go ahead and select all this and just drag it over here, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of take it this way and rotate it. So I'm going to take my image and I'm just going to slide this over here, and you can select, go back underneath and select the heart. We're going to do arrange, bring to front, and then we can kind of position this. So I think that is pretty good. And then this is going to be right here. So we're just going to position this to however you want it. Before we send this to the printer, I'm going to insert a shape, and let's just do a square right there. All right, and we're going to slide this over. What I'm going to do is cut some of this image off, just so I'm not printing so much of the image. And you do want to leave a little extra space because you want it to be able to wrap around. So we're going to go ahead and slide this over. Now we're going to go ahead and select both of those and hit slice. And we can go ahead and delete. So now this is the size image and this, and I'm going to go ahead and just select both, and I'm going to hit group. So now let's go ahead, we're going to select this and hide it, and let's see, what does this say? Okay, so this one's saying it's low quality, which is completely fine. I don't think that'll be a big issue. All right guys, so we're going to go ahead and hit make it, and we're going to go ahead and mirror it, and we're going to hit continue. send to printer, and make sure you have your sublimation printer. We're going to go ahead, turn the bleed off, and use system dialog, and then hit print. And we're going to hit preference, and I'm using the letter and paper type. You want to change to a better quality, so we're going to do a premium presentation matte, paper matte, and quality should always be the best when you're sublimating. We're going to have color. I always unselect that, but I don't really think it matters. Next, we're going to go over to more options. Definitely uncheck high speed. You want it to have the best print quality, and you can't use high speed to do that. Go ahead and select custom, advanced, and we're going to select color controls, change the color mode to Adobe RGB, gamma is 2.2, and then you can adjust your color controls to your liking. I just leave mine as is because honestly I haven't had any issues with it. So if you can tell up here, this is the original, this is the preview. I haven't had any issues, so I don't want to really change it. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK and OK, and we're going to go ahead and hit print. All right, so before we put the sublimation paper in, I wanted to quickly show you the sublimation ink that I've been using. I get messages all the time asking what I use and what I recommend. So I've been using the Best Printers sublimation ink, and I've really noticed a big difference on how my colors turn out. I'm really happy with them, so I wanted to share that with you guys as well. I've noticed colors like reds and pink look amazing. So we're doing Valentine's Day, so I thought I should share. So this is compatible with Epson, EcoTank, Workforce, and Expression printers. So if you have any of those, you're good. The bottles are also autofill style, so refilling is super easy. Best Printers also gave me a promo code for you guys. So if you want to try it out on Amazon, you can save a little bit. I'll put the link and the code in the descriptions below. But I love it, and I just wanted to share with you guys as well because I know a lot of you guys reached out and you asked me. The first thing you'll want to do is preheat your heat press. I set my temperature to 360 degrees. Once it reaches 360 degrees, you'll want to let it continue preheating for at least 5 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and clean this up. Isn't this adorable? We're going to go ahead and use rubbing alcohol just to clean the base. And if you don't have rubbing alcohol, you can always use lint roller, but I've always used alcohol. I think it works really nice. All right, so we're just going to clean out any of this. You want to make sure to do that really well because once you sublimate, whatever debris or dirt is on there will stick. We're going to go ahead and dry this really well. First thing I want to do is cut off the bottom because we're going to do that part separate. And you want to also make sure to get rid of the little brackets because that will sublimate on your image. So let's go ahead and do this on here as well. So I'm just going to cut off those little brackets. This is a tricky part. So, okay, we're going to have it this way because, so this will go on just like this. I don't want to touch the front since we just cleaned it, but it goes just like this. You want the image to be up like that. We're going to place it just like this. And again, just be careful not to touch it. And we're going to take this image carefully. And let's see, you can kind of see through the back to make sure that all of it gets on there. You want all the ink covered. So, and I want to make sure not to cut my face off or my kid's face off. I think this is more difficult to do because of the fact that it's a heart. So what I'm going to do, we're going to turn it over this way, and we're going to place this like, I think it was this way. Okay, that would be good. We're also going to place this going across. We're going to use the heat resistant tape. Then I want to, oh, actually that'll be perfect. All right. That actually is perfect. So let's do, this will go just like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this too so I can see. All right. Okay, so this will be just like this, and I wanna make sure that all of this is on. Heat resistant tape. And we're going to just tape this just like that together. I want to place it together. I don't want it to shift at all. I don't want it to move. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tape this really tight because you want the image to stay pressed against the slate. We're gonna go ahead and turn this over and we're going to tape this side as well. Ah, I'm missing a spot. Am I? Dang it, that's a little bit of a spot right here. You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to cheat a little bit. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do and hopefully it doesn't look bad. All right, what I'm gonna do is cut some of this and place it right over there and hopefully it looks okay. Because I'm missing just a sliver right here, just a sliver. So we're just line that up and I don't want that to move. Tape that down. I'm just trying to get creative because just a little bit was missing. We're gonna go ahead and take this, pull it tight. See, we're gonna go ahead and cut this down a little bit. So I want that part to be pressed too. So let's see here, we're gonna do here. So let's press. We just have to be creative. We're gonna do, let's see here. Okay. All right, then I'm going to reinforce it on this side as well. It's better to use more tape than to not have it pressed down and have to, you know, waste the slate. I always tape everything, you guys, so let me just make sure it's all taped. All right, I think this is good. So it'll look just like this. And the heat press is already preheated. All right, so I'm using the Woobify or the AKE DIY heat press. They're both the same thing, same company, and I have it at 360 degrees for 600 seconds. And this one actually goes to 600 seconds, so that's super nice. If you've seen any of my older sublimation videos, you'll know that I always place the image facing up while pressing, and honestly, they turned out fine. But I recently learned that that's actually not the way you're supposed to do it. You want the image to face downward, touching the slate. So here's the simple reasoning why. When the heat hits the ink, it turns into a gas, and then that gas travels straight into whatever it's touching. So if your image is face up, the ink doesn't have anywhere to go. But if it's face down, the ink goes directly into the slate and it gives you a clean, nice slate, sublimation slate. It's all so confusing, but that is actually the correct way to do it. So we're gonna see if it makes a difference. Go ahead, we're gonna take parchment paper and we're going to place it down first. And then I'm gonna take the image and we're gonna face this face down, just like that. And then we're going to take this and place it over the top. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna press it. We're doing 600 seconds. So we're gonna take this off. So once we're done pressing the slate for the first time, we're going to remove the sublimation paper and we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna press the back for about 20 seconds. So nothing fancy, it just helps the slate cool down evenly after the first big press. I think this turned out really nice, and pressing it face down really made a big difference. And yes, the Spotify code actually works. Just open the Spotify app, scan it, and your song pops right up. It is such a cool little touch for any gift. What do you guys think? For our second project, we're gonna sublimate a tumbler and add little gold chains on the side. It's so adorable and it looks like a little purse. So for this project, we're gonna head on over to Canva. We're going to select Create, scroll down, Custom Size. We're gonna change units to inches, and the dimensions for the tumbler that I'm using will be 8.6 by 9.6, and then we'll select Create New Design. This is for a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler. Next, we'll want to upload our image. So we're gonna do this one, and then you'll want to rotate it. We want to rotate it because we want it to be portrait because portrait is longer and it will give you enough room to wrap around the entire tumbler. So if you were to do it the opposite way, it would be too short. Then we're going to go ahead, stretch this out, and then all we have to do is go up here and we're going to flip, and then that is mirroring the image. And we're going to go over here, we're going to select share, scroll down, we're going to hit download, and then we're going to change the PNG to a PDF print, and it says best for printing. And then we're going to change the color profile to CMYK, and then we're going to hit download. We're going to just save this to our desktop. So we're going to go ahead, open the PDF, we're going to hit print, change it to actual size, and then we're going to go properties, and we're going to change this to the legal because that's the size paper I'm using. Quality always is high. So we're going to go to more options and switch this to custom. Definitely uncheck high speed. You definitely want to print in the best quality you can using sublimation. Then we're going to select advanced color controls. We're going to change color mode to Adobe RGB. Gamma is 2.2. And then I'm going to go ahead and adjust the saturation. I'm going to put mine to 7, which, let me go back so you guys can see that. You can just hit 7 or you can just slide it up and down. I just thought I would hit 7. So, and then that's it. We're going to go ahead and hit OK, and then OK and print. Press stainless steel, and it's already on. It's going to preheat. Once it reaches 365, we're going to go ahead, and I like to let it preheat just for an additional 5 minutes before we place the tumbler in here. Then you know that this is consistently that temperature. Also, with the go-to craft, you need to have a tumbler in here while it heats up. We're going to go ahead and just take this out. First thing we need to do is clean this tumbler. So we're going to use a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and we do this because you want the area that you're going to sublimate to be completely free of any type of oils or debris. So we're just going to go ahead and wipe it down and then dry it really well. Okay guys, I want to show you something really quick. So this is what the sublimation paper looks like once you take it off the printer. And this is what the pink looks like with that new ink that I've been using. Look how bright this is. So as you probably know, when you're printing your sublimation, your print always looks faded before pressing, and then once you press it, that's when the color pops. But this looks amazing. I just wanted to tell you. So we're gonna go ahead and cut some of the white off. Okay, and then we're gonna cut one side of the white off because white does not sublimate, and you want it to be seamless. Perfect. All right guys, we're gonna take the tumbler. You wanna make sure just to pay attention to make sure you put it upside right so you don't end up doing it backwards or upside down. I've done that. We're gonna go ahead and line this up with here and make sure. Then we're going to take this side that is cut and does not have any white, and that it is even throughout the whole thing. Then we're going to keep rolling it, and you want to make sure that this is tight because you want it pressed against the tumbler. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up, and we're also making sure that it's still aligned, and that is perfect. So now we're going to take heat resistant tape, and we're going to tape it down. Okay. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to tape this down too, but let's start with this side. So we're going to fold this down. Okay. Let's see here. And I pull tightly because you want this to be tight. So I'm going to place this just like this, half and half, like that. And I'm going to fold it over. I apologize if you can't see me, you guys. I don't want to mess this up, so I'll show you at the end. Okay. looks really good. Okay. And I'm gonna just do a little bit more just because I didn't do a lot right there. Okay, now we're gonna flip it over. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Just like this and fold it over. Okay, I do like to use a lot of tape. It makes more sense to me, you know, to actually use more tape and waste tape than to waste tumblers. So it really makes a big difference when you tape it and everything is so firmly pressed against it. All right, so now we're gonna take some parchment paper. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm gonna tape this. You don't have to tape this super good, this parchment paper, but it does, the auto press, it does rotate, so I just wanna make sure it stays on. It doesn't shift when it picks it up and rotates. We're gonna go ahead and put our heat resistant gloves on. And I'm going to grab this silicone mat so we can place that hot tumbler on there. Okay. So what we're gonna do is take this out and we're going to place this in just like this. And we're gonna go ahead and hit start. So it's gonna do 50 seconds and then it's going to rotate it. You can see the steam. So it's gonna go ahead, rotate it and do the other side and then we're done. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take it out. I'm gonna turn this off. So it's super hot. You definitely want gloves. That one's not so hot anymore. All right, and we're going to, let's just use this really quickly. All right. Ooh, it already looks nice, I can tell. All right, so let's go ahead and I love doing it in here. But you can only do one at a time. I love it because I don't have to use the shrink wrap because I know that shrink wrap sometimes is annoying to get off. This is really hot. Ooh, this looks so nice. Dang it, let's see. Hey, this looks so good. This pink looks amazing. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. That is so cute, so cute. We're gonna use this to kind of just hold this in place and you just use whatever you can so it doesn't roll. We're gonna go ahead and just place it right here. That makes sense to me and it's easier. We're gonna use E6000 glue. Let's go ahead and get some pliers. We have to open this up and we're gonna use a popsicle stick to spread it on there and we're going to squirt some of this out and we're going to go ahead and just place it on the bottom here and we're going to place this right on here. This works perfectly and just make sure you have to kind of give it some, apply some pressure. And I think for about 10 or 20 seconds. Okay, I think I need a little bit more glue. So let's do a little bit more. And this glue is actually a little bit old, so I don't know how long it stays potent. All right. We're gonna go ahead and place this right here. And you can wipe, I'm trying not to touch this. You can wipe some of it off, the part that smushes out. And you also want to make sure that this is centered. So when you do the chain, that this part is even. So we're going to go ahead and let this sit Let's do an hour and we'll check back before we turn it over to do the other side. So it's been an hour and I think it's plenty dry for us to move to the next step. And you know what I'm going to do is place this just here so it's not pressing against the plastic, this hard plastic, just in case. We're going to get the other one and let's go ahead. I totally forgot to put the top back on this glue. Right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and place, I don't really want to touch that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and place a good amount onto the popsicle stick. Okay. So we're just going to do it just like this. I don't want too much because I don't want, you know, it coming out the sides, but I do want to put enough where, you know, it sticks. Okay, we may have to come back and do a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and do the same spot. So we're going to just place it here. You're going to want to make sure that this is lined up so it's the chain, this part is even, you know, when you put the chain on. So we're just going to press this for about 20 seconds. All right, and then we're going to let that sit. We're going to go ahead and let that sit for an hour and then we'll be back. And again, you want to just make sure that this is, that little loop is even, so when we do the chain it doesn't kind of move. All right guys, so here this is, they are completely dry, and we're going to go ahead and put these clips on. So it'll just go like this, and the other one just does the same on this side. Isn't that so cute? That is so cute. And you can put these anywhere you want. If you want it to have like a longer hold, you can always place them higher. I actually thought this was a good spot just because it had those little, there, it already had that little thing there, so I just thought that would be easier. And then it's balanced on both sides. Let's go ahead and do this one as well. So cute. So, what do you guys think? So what do you guys think? I think these turned out so adorable. I'd love to know if this is something that you guys like and would make as well. Thanks for hanging out with me today. These Valentine's Day sublimation projects were so much fun to make, and I hope that they inspire you to make something new. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more real life tutorials and honest reviews. And if you want to try the sublimation ink that I used today, Best Printers is giving you 10% off. Just use code CREATE2026, and I'll leave the link in the descriptions below. See you guys in the next one. Bye.